You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. Today, we're talking 1987's Back to the Beach.
Talk to again.
The wickedest waves. Come on, dudes. And the gnarliest tunes.
Well, everybody's heard about the birds.
It's the totally cool way to beat the heat. Back to the beach. Rated PG.
I'm Movie Miss, and I'm here with my co-host, as always, Miss Nikki Flicks. Hello there.
Hello.
You ready to put on that swimsuit and grab your board and hit the water?
Oh, I'm so ready. Mountain surf report was pretty good today. Pretty good.
Unless you wanted to go to, what was it, Malibu?
Yeah, Malibu's kind of dead.
So we're talking Back to the Beach today because on Rotten Tomatoes, it barely squeaks by with an audience score of 63. So we're going to go ahead and discuss it. It does have a critic score of 71%. So
I was pleasantly surprised when I saw some of the reviews. Particularly, I think it was Roger Ebert. Loved it. Gave it like 3.5 out of 4 and was like, this movie was a lot better than anyone should expect it to be. That's how I feel about it.
That's amazing. Good old Raj.
Yeah.
It had a box office of a little over 13 million US. I could not find budget information except that about 2 million of it did go to writers' fees. So I don't know how well it was received financially. I couldn't find it.
Lots and lots of script rewrites. I think I saw in a Vanity Fair article, Frankie Avalon said there were something like 17 script writers by the time they filmed. Just this script got rehashed so many times. They ran into so many budget problems and timing problems because the studio was not cool with the script. They kept changing it.
Interesting.
Yeah, there was a great retrospective article on Vanity Fair with Frankie Avalon done in 2017. Looking back on the movie. If anyone wants to Google that, it was a great read.
Awesome. So this movie was directed by Lyndall Hobbs, who had nothing remarkable about her career except this was the only feature film she'd ever directed. I found it more interesting that she was in a 7-year relationship with Al Pacino. Random. The main cast of the film is Frankie Avalon as himself, Annette Funicello as herself, Lori Loughlin as their daughter, Sandy, Damian Slade as their son, Bobby, Tommy Hinckley as Michael, and Connie Stevens as herself. That's the top billed cast. We'll get into the rest as we go. And for anybody who isn't familiar, Frankie Avalon was basically a teen idol of the 50s and 60s with singing and acting. Venus was, I think, his most popular song. And being Gen Xers, our parents introduced us to this kind of thing and shared Annette with us. She had been popular since like 1955 when she was on the Mickey Mouse Club, way back in the day when it was black and white. So she was a bit of a teen idol herself. Frankie and Annette put out several beach party themed movies, the first one being called Beach Party in 1963. They teamed up and did 3 more similar films in 64, 4 more in 65. They did something called Fireball 500 in 66 and a TV movie again in 78. And then there was a gap until they did Back to the Beach together in 87. You might recognize Frankie if you're a fan of the film Grease, because he does sing to Frenchie. I believe it's Beauty School Dropout.
Yes, he plays the teen angel.
There you go.
A role many an adorable pop star has cameoed on Broadway in that role.
Oh, is that right?
Oh yeah, so it was like perfect that a former pop star would cameo in that movie as the teen angel, I should say.
And then just another little nugget of information about this movie. They had so much fun doing it, and everybody involved was willing to do a sequel, and they even started writing one. But unfortunately, Annette was battling with early stages of her multiple sclerosis, and so she had to pull out of the sequel, which is super sad because it sounds fun. They were supposed to go on a safari in Africa together. What a blast that would have been.
It would have been great. Yeah.
The IMDb plot recap is pretty straightforward. It's Frankie and Annette, having now grown up and put aside their beach partying lifestyle, visit their daughter in Southern California and discover that there's still some wild times left in them.
That's a really cute description that does not give away the plot. It would be easy to give away the plot because the plot's actually really simple. And I love that they wrote it that way and didn't even give it away. That's cute.
Yes. And for people who enjoy the little nuggets here and there, this movie is just lousy with cameos, and we will touch on each one as we are walking through the plot. There's so much fun to be had with this movie. Okay, so our movie opens on an airplane where we meet little Bobby dressed in his black pleather, I'm guessing, brandishing his switchblade comb, telling us about how his parents in the 60s were teen idols in the US. Basically, anybody who doesn't already know who these people are, Frankie and Annette, this is a quick little intro.
Yep. I think it's really smart to use this hilariously dressed, super natural and likable kid. This kid is such a natural, breaking the fourth wall and talking to us. And he's so damn funny and likable instantly. And then to use him to just sort of quickly be like, hey, kids of the 80s, in case you don't know, this is my ridiculous parents. Like, this is what they've been dealing with. So you can see who they are if you don't already know, and your parents didn't tell you who Frankie and Annette are. Here you go. You got 30 seconds of this kid and you already know who they are. I love that. Smart.
Speaking of the kid and just how awesome he is, did you recognize him from anything else? Do you know his other?
I'm trying so hard, and I forced myself to not look at his IMDb because I didn't want to do that. I was like, I will find it naturally. It will come to me, and I've been racking my brain. I cannot.
Okay.
Where do I know him from?
I'll give you a hint. He wants his $2.
Oh my God, you're right.
That's his only other big claim to fame.
Oh my God, it's him. Only that was like a few years earlier.
Yep.
Oh my God, he's the paper boy.
And he's perfect, right?
So I have to say, yeah, I have a great story about him. That line, that movie in general, putting a pin in it, we're doing Better Off Dead. It's happening. So future reference, I have a really cool story about this kid, Damian Slade, and what his role in that movie did for me. So,
okay.
All right. But yes, good to know. I freaking love him in this movie, though. He provides so many quotable moments, and like the first 10 seconds of seeing him, you're just like, oh my God, this kid's amazing.
Agreed. Now, to jump back real quick to his parents, it is something he notably mentions. His dad was also not only known for being a singer and a teen idol and did the movies with his mom, but he also was a big in the surfing community. And he had a nickname of the Big Kahuna, and not to be confused with the movie with Kevin Spacey.
Right.
And his mom was in a strange cult called the Mouseketeers.
Yes.
So funny. We get the first of many product placements in this film. We see that he's sipping on a refreshing Diet Pepsi. And this just stuck out to me in the movie. There's product placement everywhere.
Right. The whole Skippy peanut butter thing, you can get it because Annette Funicello was a spokesperson for Skippy and doing commercials in the 80s. So when a lot of kids saw her, they went, oh, it's the peanut butter lady. So the fact that they're tying in the Skippy peanut butter and making it this weird obsession she has is so freaking funny.
So then he further explains that they now live in Ohio and they enjoy a nightly ritual known as dinner and then the accident story.
I still laugh so hard at this whole thing. Oh,
Well, in this portion of the film, though, he just gives us the quick abbreviated version. We get a detailed version later. He says that basically about 20 years ago, while surfing, a humongous wave knocked him silly, and he's never been the same since. Next, we meet Frankie while he's filming a commercial. And this is like, they're still on the plane, but this is just kind of a flash showing us about him as we get voiceover from Bobby. Frankie's filming a commercial for his car dealership. We hear Bobby say that his dad is not a bad guy. He's just really stressed out and he's forgotten to have fun. So I thought that was pretty to the point after watching the film. Yeah, I think he nailed that.
little Bobby's pretty observant. Yeah.
Then we cut to Annette and Bobby as Bobby's still doing voiceover, and they're in their home. She's putting away groceries and she's making him lunch with her peanut butter. And in voiceover, he basically tells us that his mother is a super cheerful person and has developed an obsession with peanut butter. And I love in this scene that we see him spray painting the wall in his house. And
he is so full blown wanting to live some punk rock lifestyle because it's as far away from who his parents are as he can get. So his answer to that is to mess with the dog. You see what he's doing to the dog in this scene. He's got his little retractable comb that he pretends is a switchblade, spray painting skulls on the wall of the den there. Like, what the hell is this kid doing? And I love that. And that's like, oh, sweetie, just be yourself. She totally is aware that he's acting like an idiot and she lets him do it. Because she's clearly the mom who's going to let him express himself with his interesting clothes and hair. Like, goddamn, I love Annette so much.
Yeah, like he's just going through a phase.
Yeah, it's just a phase with the little comb, and she's going to fix his hair, lick her hand, and here, let me take care of that. Just, oh my God, the interaction between the two of them during this conversation about the peanut butter.
So all I did was make a note of the one thing I found hilarious. So please feel free to expand. But basically, he confronts his mom about peanut butter being his lunch every day of his life, and he's sick of it. And my favorite thing he says to her is that the peanut butter is a sick kind of fixation with her.
Yep.
I love that.
I've seen this movie so many times. And I still quote it so much that the whole scene is written in my head. I can recite this whole scene. And it's probably been 8-9 years since I watched it. The whole scene, I spoke the words as Bobby said them. I couldn't help myself. Like, it's peanut butter, isn't it, Mom? Isn't it? And the way she jumps and his face, how intense and serious he is. How could they not be laughing?
He doesn't crack. He's
oh my
so
God.
Good.
Yeah. It's been in there every day of my life with his teeth gritted. It's so stupid. What a stupid argument they are having. And oh my God, it still makes me laugh. Every time I do anything with peanut butter, I quote it, I say it, I can't help myself.
The one I always quote is, you need oxygen. When somebody tells me I need something.
You need peanut butter. No, you need oxygen. As he's trying to crack open a beer.
I know. She just
little shit.
It's so good. And I will say too, I also love throughout this entire movie, Annette's dress matches her hair bows and headbands and jackets. Like everything matches the same pattern. Down to her swimsuits, everything.
Yes.
I love it.
Her perfectly coiffed hair with matching hair adornments to her swimsuit or outfit, and the way that she sometimes seems to change multiple times a day for no reason, just because she loves looking cute. Like, oh my God, she's one of my fashion icons. I wish I was going to be as cute when I get to the age she is here as she was. I know I won't be. She's just a doll. She is a living doll at any age. She's so beautiful.
You just need the right outfit. That's all.
She's so cute. I know. I wear my polka dots. I'm ready.
So then we get more voiceover of Bobby explaining that after 15 years, his dad finally has decided to take he and Annette to Hawaii for a vacation. So then we cut back to the plane where Bobby's being snarky to a flight attendant. And she's trying to offer him a pilot wing pin. And she's like, I'll just pin it to your cheek.
Because he's such a little shit. And I love that the adults around him, particularly the women, are just not having any of it. Annette doesn't put up with his crap really either. And it's Frankie who acts like a goddamn child and gets drawn in. And the two of them the rapport they have when they're arguing, and he keeps, oh, do not, like that whole,
Yeah.
the
What does he say?
rapport between them.
At one point he says, he keeps needling me.
Yeah.
Like, you're the father.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be able to
Yep.
needle you.
Yep. Little Bobby going, does the phrase "get over it" mean anything to you? To Frankie, and then Frankie going, does the expression "a rap in the mouth" mean anything to you? And the way he wants to get in a physical fight with his son. Like, he's so over his bullshit. It's so funny to watch the two of them together. And then Annette coming in and telling them both, why don't you have a timeout? Sit down. She's
Yes.
the perfect moderator for the two of them.
She does. She breaks them up, and the flight attendant recognizes them, and she says, "Oh, you're the big chihuahua," to Frankie.
Uh-huh.
Frankie then says to Annette that he's sorry and he'll settle down, and he needs to relax because the years have hardened him.
Yep. And what does Bobby say?
Well, they've certainly hardened your hair.
Yes. That I specifically wrote that quote down because that makes me laugh so hard. Like I said, it's just the interaction between the two of them in these earlier scenes that makes me cry laughing every time I watch this movie.
Bobby's not wrong, though. Frankie's got a pretty
Right?
solid hair helmet going on.
He does. He really does.
He really does.
Yep.
And just quick, I forgot to ask you this at the beginning. How old do you think Bobby's supposed to be here? Like 13?
Oh, he's barely pubescent here. He's got to be
12?
like 13, I'd say. Hardly even begun his teenage years. That's what he looks like.
Okay. So next we learn that they're doing a layover in LA because they want to visit Sandy, their daughter. And Frankie gets all excited, starts rattling off a bunch of pet names that he has for her. And everybody on the plane starts to puke, grabs their bags to puke into.
Yep.
My little baby, my honey bunny.
Yep. His face when he freaks out and starts doing that. And then, yeah, Bobby, this is why we don't travel.
Exactly.
Oh my God. So good.
And then right after Bobby says that, we cue the music and the opening credits. And there's a really fun Eddie Money song that they use for the opening credits. And I just think it captures the spirit of what we're about to watch perfectly.
Agreed. Can't get much better than this. This is like the ultimate example of the 1980s opening credits. What movie did we come to see montage? Like, it sets the tone beautifully.
Yes, my exact note. I swear to God, sometimes we're like Dave and Chainsaw and we share the same brain. I wrote a quintessential 80s movie opening with neon credits and a fun song.
I wrote, love how 80s this is. The neon, the music. Yeah.
Yep.
The I particularly love the incredible footage of real surfers being absolutely amazing. I love how much of that you get to see. All these random people that we'll be seeing later on in the movie, and you're kind of getting a feel for what the scene looks like here. Yeah.
Yes.
The punks with the baby, they're sitting there with the babysitting service. Dude with the spiky hair holding on to that baby and giving him some piercings and shit. Like, that's funny. That makes me laugh.
Yes. And then at the end of all the montage, we see the plane landing at LAX. And then at baggage claim, Bobby is thoroughly disappointed that he has yet to see somebody famous, even though they just landed. Very disappointed.
Yes.
Annette and O.J. Simpson reach for the same bag. I forget what she says.
She says, I just rewatched it. She says, oh, this can't be mine because mine's leatherette and this one. And he says, oh yeah, this is pigskin. Haha, because he plays football. How funny. The only thing I get out of this now, like in the 80s, of course, you're like, oh, it's that Hertz rental car guy. He's always running through the airport. Like, oh no, sweetie, that's actually O.J. Simpson. He's a famous football player. That's why okay, great. Now it's like, that's O.J. Simpson. Ha, he ate shit. When he trips and falls, you're like, good.
Exactly.
That's all I get out of that scene now.
Okay, so then Frankie, Annette, and Bobby hop into this really cute convertible car and they head on over to Sandy's place. I guess Frankie had called ahead and got her machine and left a message. We're here. We're going to come visit you. Why did they not call her before they decided to stop in LA? Because you know you're going to have a layover when you get your tickets.
Because Annette didn't tell them till they were on the plane. because she didn't want Frankie to freak out about their daughter. She told him when they were on the plane and then he freaked out, remember? So she didn't want too much pre-planning to happen because she's like, it's only a couple hours on our layover. I don't want him to get too excited. We all know how he gets about our daughter.
I just thought it was weird that her mother didn't call her daughter to be like, oh, we're coming by. Like, it was a complete shock to Sandy when they show up.
Think about who Annette is, though. She's living in this little fantasy cartoon, birds chirping, Snow White life. So
that's true.
In her mind, Sandy's just sitting there staring out the window going, I miss mom and dad every day.
Well, as they're driving along the coast, Annette asks what happened when he called Sandy, and he says, well, I didn't get to talk to her. I got the machine, and the outgoing greeting says, we're not in. And he's wondering, who is we? So Bobby the smartass, when his dad says, what does we mean? Immediately jumps in and tells him it's the plural form. Do you want me to conjugate that for you?
Yep. Do you know what conjugate means, Dad? And then Frankie instantly wanted to turn around and punch his son in the face. That interaction, that dynamic between them just makes me laugh so freaking hard. I kind of am sad when halfway through the movie it sort of goes away because they part their ways. So I love this dynamic though between the two of them. I live for it. And I also love how Annette chimes in, and she's a little smart ass with Frankie, where she's like, what does we're not in mean? Pretty sure it means she's not in. Like, she's trying to tell him, would you just calm the hell down? Like, geez, how ridiculous he's being.
That's a running theme in this movie. It's her constantly telling him to calm down.
Yeah.
So in the next scene, we meet Sandy and Michael, her live-in fiance. And we learn that Sandy has no clue that the parents are coming. She is writing a letter with pen and paper. You know, kids, like we did in the old days.
Right.
Before texting and email. But she's writing a letter, and he gets a little disappointed because she says that she has yet to mention her boyfriend or fiance in these letters. So her parents have no idea about Michael. And I like this actor who plays Michael. I could not tell you off the top of my head anything he's been in, but I love him.
Oh, I'm sure if you hop on his IMDb, he's very familiar to me. I know I've probably seen at least 10 different like guest roles on procedurals on TV in the 80s and 90s. Like, he's a very familiar face. I think he was a very prominent character actor at the time, showing up all over the damn place all the time. This is the only thing I really remember him being like one of our central characters. I can't even recall his name. What is it again? I know you got it in your notes.
Tommy Hinckley.
Tommy Hinckley. Well, yeah, he's fantastic. He's supernatural and likable. He has really nice chemistry with Lori Loughlin right off the bat. The two of them together are adorable, and you buy them as a couple immediately.
Agreed.
And with her, just real quick, like, say whatever you want about Lori Loughlin and who she's become and what she's known for now. In this little time capsule from the 80s, she's super cute and likable, and she's plays
a delight
really well as Annette's daughter. She looks like her and has a very sweetness about her energy like Annette does. So I love her as their daughter, and these two together are really good.
Yes, and we also see that they live on a pier together. Which I thought was unusual because it gets about a bad weather and you're screwed if you're living on a pier. Sandy listens to the message on the machine and she realizes that they're there. She looks out the window and sees them coming. She grabs all of Michael's clothes and throws them out the window, and he grabs his surfboard. He's going to jump off the pier out the window because her dad, Frankie, grabs poor little Bobby and starts banging his head against the door to bust the door down.
Yep.
It's so weird.
I love it when he's listening and he's like, wait, I hear something. And Bobby's like, she's making noise in her own apartment. Cue the smart ass comments. Here they come. And then when you see Frankie using Bobby's head as a ramming device to get the door open, he's wearing Bobby's hat while he's doing it. That makes me laugh. It's so funny. I don't know how else to describe it. I love how quick and silly the humor in the movie is. Little things like he's wearing the hat, you didn't even see it happen, but now he's doing it. And the shit that Bobby keeps doing with the comb, like, it's just silliness that seems maybe like it was improvised, I guess.
Yes.
There's a natural improvisational feeling to some of the comedy. I love it.
Agreed. So then once they get inside, they figure out that there was a man in there. So Frankie grabs Bobby and they head out to the beach to look for him. Good
Yeah.
luck.
A scandalo.
Yeah.
Your adult daughter had a man in her apartment?
Yes.
Oh.
Oh. Well, you know, these are the puritanical teen idols of the 50s and 60s here, you know. So Sandy sits down with Annette and says, this is the sitch, tells her all the lowdown about Michael and what's happening. And Annette's solution is to go shopping. That'll fix everything. Let's go shopping.
Right.
Then we cut back to Frankie and Bobby wandering onto a section of the beach where a sign is up that's known as Z Town. And you have all these quote unquote undesirables hanging out there, right? Everyone on the beach in sunny California, but they're all wearing like black leather and studded gear and face painted and tattoos and crazy hair color.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, the cliche undesirables of the 80s. And he accidentally knocks over their surfboards that are all in the sand, domino style, and has a little confrontation with Zed. And I like that he just goes, whoopsie daisy.
Mm-hmm. Definitely still stuck in the 1960s, isn't he?
The only other time I've ever heard somebody in a movie say whoopsie daisy was Hugh Grant in Notting Hill.
Yep, I remember that.
I've never heard a man say whoopsie daisy other than that. Okay. So Zed and his ragtag band of misfits here, they let Frankie and Bobby go after they've, you know, done this egregious act of knocking over their surfboards twice, which I thought was out of character. If you're a bad guy, they're painting them to be the bad guys. They're really not that bad.
They're really not.
I did like Zed though, when he came on the screen. That's Joe Holland. I forgot, because it's been so long since I've seen this, that he is a good looking man if you take all that goo off his face and out of his hair.
You kidding me? I like him even with all that.
Ooh, hello, Zed.
Yes. Hello there, Zed. How you doing?
So it's still daytime and the family piles all into the convertible because they're going to head out and drop Sandy off at work. And then all of a sudden when they arrive at her work, it's pitch dark. I don't know how that works, but you know, whatever, roll with it. And her job is at a club/bar in town called Daddy-O's. And I love that it's a giant neon pineapple as the entrance. Does that building really exist, or did it?
I don't know.
How cool
Time to do
is
some
that?
research. Yeah, it's super cute. I love the whole tiki bar vibe. And I love the marquee out front.
Yes.
Gotta love it.
Dick Dale and at least 2 Deltones.
At least 2.
At least. So for
Yep.
anybody that doesn't know, Dick Dale, basically known as the king of the surf guitar sound, Grammy nomination for his song Pipeline, which he does perform in this movie with the one and only Mr. Stevie Ray Vaughan. Thank you very much.
Dick Dale's a legend. He's an absolute legend. I love that Annette's like, oh, let's go say hi to Dick. And it's like, he's been here for 30 years. He'll still be here.
No,
we don't
no.
have to go in right now.
The best part is what you just said. He says, we could come back in the year 2000 and see Dick Dale.
Yeah.
Which in 1987, 88, you're like, wow, that's so far away.
Man.
So Sandy goes into work and Annette says, the plane can wait a minute. Can we please hop in real quick and say hi to Dick Dale, because they're friends from the old days. And Frankie's giving her grief and going, oh, we got to go. We're going to miss the plane. And then he finally says, fine. Okay, let me park real quick and I'll come in. He pulls up to the valet and it's Ed Burns. And I had to look it up because they clearly know each other. And he goes, it's Kooky. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ed Burns is playing himself. And I guess he was Vince Fontaine in Grease, which I had forgotten all about. And he is known for singing a song, Kooky, with Connie Stevens. And he was in several of the Beach movies. So really in real life, probably their friend, and has known them for many years at this point. Once they get inside, Annette gets hit on by Troy, played by John Calvin. And he is so good. He's such a good actor because he plays this slimeball Troy to perfection.
Yes, he does. That's my note. Troy is amazing. Who is this actor? Like, what else? Where else can I see this guy? He's amazing.
Well, I love that he just comes on to her real strong, tells her he bought her the stunned mullet drink, 2 of them, because they're
Yes.
supposedly very strong.
Yes.
And of course, I had to furiously Google, what is a stunned mullet? Is it real? And I did come across some weird answers on the internet, so I'm not going to share any of them. They were questionable, and I'm just going to say, do yourself a favor and Google what is a stunned mullet.
That's maybe opening Pandora's box. I don't know if I want to know, but what I love about this whole situation with the stunned mullet is the way Frankie comes in, and he may be Mr. super conservative, overprotective dad, but he still knows exactly what's in that fucking drink. Not only does he know exactly what's in it, he chugs the whole thing and he's like, try again, asshole, to Troy. Like that Frankie literally has this moment where you're like, he is not some little conservative prude. Who's he trying to, fool acting like that? No way. This guy's with it. Look at him down in that drink.
Yes, and after he swoops in and catches what he's doing, he and Annette are going to leave, and they get stopped by Connie Stevens playing herself, who, for some of you that are a little younger, may know her from Miss Mason in Grease 2. She is adorable in this and hilarious. She did quite a few movies with Frankie and Annette also back in the day. So she swoops in and she says, I think she says, Kahuna, and runs over to him and starts kissing him crazy, a bunch of kisses on the lips.
Uh-huh.
No, ma'am. Annette just stands there with this shocked look on her face.
Yeah. I have to say, though, how beautiful and wonderful is Connie Stevens, being a woman of a certain age at this point. But both her and Annette, I mean,
of a certain age.
Well, by the late 1980s, these are women who've been acting for decades. Yeah. They're not 20 somethings. They're not Lori Loughlin. They're Lori Loughlin's mother. Both of these women, freaking amazing to look at and so talented and beautiful. And I love her and Annette. I love the whole bad girl, good girl, glaring at each other, fighting over the man thing. Like, I love it. They're so great.
Well, she tells him, you've got to stay for a minute. You've got to see my shrine to the big kahuna. And of course, Annette is like, well, we have a plane to catch. Remember? Frankie's like, oh, just a quick minute. Let me go look.
Suddenly, Frankie's totally fine with reminiscing and living in the past, isn't he? Funny how that works. He didn't want to do it earlier, did he?
And the shrine has like random things from back in the beach days, notably his old surfboard, which is a 9-foot long, very heavy board with a shark painted on it, which I liked that.
Yep.
A photo of him and Annette with Annette's face cut out. And an old microphone and some other things. So it's actually a sweet gesture to have all this there.
Sure it is.
And then, of course, Annette says, we got to go. And Connie begs Frankie, please stay and sing a song like the old days. And he's more than happy to oblige.
Yeah. Hold on there, sir. This is what's happening now. Like, as a kid, I was like, whatever, mom and dad are fighting. Now, being an adult, you look at this and you're like, you know what? This is actually a really great example of the subtle ways in which a lot of marriages do come apart. When you forget to be the person that your spouse fell in love with, and you forget the whole courting and wooing and, putting your best foot forward, when you forget that this is the kind of shit that happens. And now Connie comes along and now suddenly he's ready to be Mr. Excitement again, Mr. Venus, Mr. 60s. Excuse me, you owe that energy to your wife.
Exactly.
I love that. Now I'm like, this is actually a really common thing that happens to people in marriage, for sure.
Who would have thought we'd get so deep on Back to the Beach?
It's true, though. I mean, how many married couples do you know who've been through a problem like this? And this is the kind of stuff that leads to cheating. And, this is a very common marital problem, really common.
So he goes ahead and gets on stage. And I like that he leans over to Dick Dale and says, do you know Venus, which is his, popular song? And of course, Dick Dale's like, no, but I know this one. And he starts this new song that I've never heard of. And of course, Frankie sings it flawlessly. He just knows every word. Like, what? I've never
Isn't
heard
it-
this song in my life.
Yeah, they're out there having fun, right?
Yeah, I'll
In
be
the
damned.
warm Cali. No, I've heard that song before. It's a song. It was not invented for this movie. I guarantee.
Yeah.
I gotta Google it, but I'm pretty damn sure it's actually a real pop song.
Well, I do know. I didn't know it myself, but I'll be damned if I don't sing along to it anyway.
Well, yeah. How adorable is this moment? Okay, so despite the fact that I was really pissed at him, on Annette's behalf for doing this, when he's up there singing, it's like, if you didn't already know, you can totally see. Now I get why the man was a teen idol, because this is 1987. He's in his, I don't know, maybe it's questionable, 40s, 50s. I don't know. How old is he? He's still got it.
He's
you can
so
see
charming.
it in this song. He has a pleasant, it's not the world's best voice, but he has a pleasant singing voice. He's got oodles of stage presence. He's a fantastic
Charisma.
performer. He's got charisma. Wrong show. Yes. So you can see the teen idol part of him and why he was a popular singer. He's adorable. I love watching him sing this song.
And Connie jumps up at the end of the song and finishes it with him, and they get a little touchy. Annette is visibly upset. You can see her watching. And I have to say, I'm on Annette's side here. I am 100% Team Skippy on this one.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely. I'm all about the creamy Skippy at this point. Yeah, get your chunky shit out of here. Frankie's being messy. I do not like what's happening with him and Connie. You've been married how long? You ought to know better. Knock it off. And I love the little argument that they have. And I love that Annette, despite her personality being so sweet and, she's a little badass the way she sticks up for herself here.
Yeah, when they start arguing, I did note that Frankie makes the cardinal sin of husbandry, and he tells his wife to lighten up, which in my book is tantamount to relax,
Calm down.
Right. Don't tell me to lighten up. I'll show you. Yeah, no. But I love her reply. If this marriage gets any lighter, it'll float.
Yes. I love how she's not, even though she's such a sweet and she seems like a passive person, she's not taking any of his crap for 1 second. I love that.
But then he comes back and compounds his idiocy even further by saying that she's being ridiculous. What? She's being ridiculous. Excuse me, sir.
But then what does she have to say to that?
Well, he threatens her and says, you know what? We're going home. And now I do have to say real quick before we dive into that little bit of the conversation, they bought tickets to Hawaii. Even in the 80s, that shit was not cheap. And you're just going to go, fuck it. Let's go home to Ohio because we're fighting. What? That's 3 tickets to Hawaii.
He's not really threatening to go home. He's just threatening to do whatever he can to ruin her good time or ruin their good time or whatever. He's just grasping at straws.
Well, I like that she says, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying in California with my son and my daughter, and we're going to have some fun of our own if you're going to be that way. Love it. So Frankie, staying true to form, tells her, fine, if you don't come now, don't bother to come later. And he storms off.
I love that she says later, how about never? And then everyone who crowded around and was listening to their argument starts clapping.
That's right.
Like,
except Sandy and Bobby. They look a little sad.
Well, yeah, they're just watching their parents who, always seem like the most cookie cutter, leave it to Beaver couple have this big blowout argument in front of their eyes. Like, what? They're real people? This can't be happening.
So later, Sandy and Michael have a quick talk where she tells him, this is what's happening and you can't stay here because Mom and Bobby have to stay here for a few days. He says, they started on a 3-hour tour and now they're going to be here for God knows how long. Something about, is it just me? Or is that the plot of Gilligan's Island?
Yep. Which, of course, we'll see in a minute why that matters.
So good.
Yep.
So they argue, and she gives Michael back his ring, which is a little surfer on a board. And she says, it's a good thing you're not a plumber because I'd be walking around with a toilet bowl on my hand. I thought that was cute, though, that he gave her a little surfer on a board.
clearly she's just having a little bit of a struggle with what's happening with her parents, because where was any of this I care about what you do for a living stuff before? She didn't. She loves him. They'll be okay.
And then we see Annette and Bobby having a little moment outside Sandy's before they go in. And I love that she's like, I know your father. I know what he's going to do before he does. And I'm not worried. He'll be back. And Bobby's like, you're so sweet, Mom. Well, and then she says to him, he'll be back. And then I'll make him pay.
Yep. You're like, ooh, she ain't that sweet.
That's right. Then we cut to Frankie getting drunk. I guess he did not go back to Ohio. He decided to stay at the club. And he's sitting at the bar and he asks the bartender for another drink and calls him, the captioning said old buddy. So I don't know if he said little buddy.
I think he said little buddy.
Little buddy. Okay. So he says, buddy. And then turn around. The bartender is Gilligan, played by Bob Denver from Gilligan's Island.
So you're suddenly remembering what Michael just said a minute ago about, am I crazy or is this Gilligan's Island? He's like, yeah, there was one time I tried to make a nuclear reactor out of a coconut. You want to hear about it? And Frankie, no. I love drunk Frankie here with the umbrella stuck in his hair and the face and he, oh my God, do you not completely buy that this guy is hammered?
Yes. And I thought for sure the next thing is when Connie steps in, I thought she was going to cut him off. He's clearly had enough, but she just tells the bartender, just give him another drink, but make it heavier on the fruit. You should be cutting him off at this point. And I also like that it's the same night, but Connie's wearing a different outfit and her hair is completely different. So back at Sandy's, Annette makes peanut butter sandwiches for the two of them, Skippy. And then they decide that they need to stop worrying about what's happening with their men and just have a pajama party. That'll solve everything.
I love this so much. It made me think I want to have a pajama party with Annette Funicello. When I was like 10 or whatever, and I saw this movie, I was like, I want to be at this pajama party. This looks like the best girls' night ever. I love the outfits. Whoever wrangled up all these little adorable pajama sets, all these really beautiful girls are wearing, like, oh my God, get me that wardrobe. It's so cute. It's so fun. I love the music. I love the little conga line. How could you not want to be at this party, bitch?
Well, especially when Zed and his crew come across from the bait shop and get all rapey with the girls.
No, they come in and the thing I noticed,
grab these girls in pajamas to pull them close and start dancing with them.
How cute is it though when Zed comes over and he's like, oh, do you want to dance with Annette? And he starts like, they're having their little two-step. They look like they're at the high school dance in the 1950s dance moment where he's like,
I didn't care for
the way the way he's dancing with her is so cute. I love that. Where suddenly I was like, whoa, he's not doing what all the rest of these guys are doing. Like, look how cute he's being, wanting to dance with her. That sticks out to me. Like, it's adorable. It's like the way you dance with your mother. It's so cute.
All right, fine.
But yes, in general, yes, it is a little creepy and weird the way they just infiltrate, start trying to dance. But the girls are doing that stupid thing where they're all smiling and laughing and going, ew, now stop.
They're living out their fantasy.
Give me a break.
Like the sisters from the pirate movie.
Exactly. Yes. No, I'd hate to be pillaged. Like, you're getting that vibe. And then they start throwing shit at them. And of course they leave.
Yes. And then we cut to back at the bar. Frankie is even more drunk, if that's possible.
Right.
And he says to Connie, can I ask you something? What the hell is a kahuna? And is it good to have a big one?
Right. I love that line. What the hell is a kahuna anyway?
So then, of course, Gilligan, starts in again about what happened to him on the island, and Frankie cuts him off again. It's like, this poor boy's never going to get to tell his story.
It's such a long story to tell.
And then the next morning, we pan across a room inside of a bunkhouse tower on the beach where there are a bunch of guys sleeping, dressed in their beachwear. We see monitors labeled with various beach names and a bunch of landline telephones. Suddenly an alarm goes off and this guy, Mountain, he grabs a bullhorn megaphone thing and just starts yelling at everybody to get up and go surfing. I want to have a day like that where I wake up and all I have to do is go surf.
I want to be able to surf. I think I'd start there. Well, first, I want to have the motivation to learn how to surf, then learn how to surf. Then I would totally hang out with Mountain and his crew. This looks like a really fun time.
Yes. Then the phones start ringing and he grabs one of the phones and says, Mountain Surf Report. And he starts telling all these people calling in about the weather conditions and the wave conditions of the various beaches.
This is pre-internet and the local news ain't reporting on the surf. Who's going to do it? Mountain to the rescue.
I love his setup because when everybody starts piling out of the building and they're going down this giant like fire pole, even one guy's holding his board as he slides down the pole. And the song Wipeout starts to play. Yep. And you just get so pumped. And yeah, you want to go surfing with them. You're like, I'm in right now.
I love the moment where somebody's mom calls and he's like, hey, get back here. It's your mom. The guy's like, I gotta go. And he's like, sorry, ma'am, he's dead. That makes me laugh so hard. He's got to surf. Sorry, ma'am, he's dead.
That's right.
And more great shots of real amazing surfers doing incredible things. I love the inclusion of those shots, that footage.
100%. And then back inside, Michael wanders in and he sees Frankie waking up and complaining that his head hurts and he's hungover, complaining about why did I leave Ohio? Michael makes Frankie a hangover cure consisting of Tylenol, Alka-Seltzer, coffee grounds, and Pepsi. More Pepsi plug. And he says, it's a little pick-me-up. Trust me, Keith Richards lives on these. That's right. So gross.
It's disgusting. No, thank you, ma'am. That looks so gross. Like when you're feeling that way, that looks like that's what would make you go ahead and get it out. That would make you have to run for the bathroom immediately. That's nasty. But I love how it works. And I love Frankie's reaction to it when he drinks it.
Do you think Keith Richards still lives on them?
Potentially. Maybe. We could ask Frankie. He's still kicking too. Maybe it did wonders for him.
Yeah, Frankie drinks it and he immediately acts like he feels better.
The way he's like, wow. You know what? Gatorade and ibuprofen never quite did that to me. Let me tell you.
And he tells Michael, oh my gosh, I am forever in your debt. Whatever you need. Do you need a car? What do you need? And Michael says, well, that's good because I'd like to marry your daughter.
Right.
And Frankie tries to strangle him. And then he calms down. And then they have a peaceful chat. We cut outside to the beach and we see a la summer school style, just 80s beach, 5 people riding a bike together, people on their roller skates, just more activity in this one little area of beach than I probably ever saw at all the beaches in my whole life growing up. Like they crammed so much in this scene to show the 80s beach life.
Right. It's Muscle Beach. It's Malibu. I'm not sure what the hell's going on. It looks like Venice as well. Like, what beach is this? What's going on? There's so many people and there's so much to see.
But it did make me super nostalgic for growing up there in SoCal.
Oh, heck yeah.
And I'm trying to explain this to my husband, and he just had a completely different upbringing. You can't explain it to somebody who didn't grow up on a beach.
I totally get you. Same here, because, these are the beaches I grew up seeing too. And I remember this vibe and the boom boxes and the hotties and the French bikinis walking past the muscle bound dudes and the surfers. Like that's a real thing. It totally was. My husband grew up on the Oregon coast.
Totally
so
different.
It's like, this is a very different beach experience.
So then down on the beach, we see Annette and Sandy and her best friend. We find out later, the redhead, her name is Robin, and a few other friends, and little Bobby all hanging out. And Annette is putting sunscreen on Bobby's nose, and he shows them a tattoo. It's obviously a fake tattoo. It's not real, like a sticker one.
Right. It's like a stick-on Cracker Jack deal he's got.
Yeah. I like that the sunscreen, though, I noticed this, matches Annette's outfit. Her bathing suit, her headband, her sunscreen, everything's yellow. She looks so cute and perfect as always, even though they're at the beach. So Bobby gets disgusted with them laughing at his tattoo. And he says, I'm going swimming. And he takes off. Sandy tells her mom she misses Michael. And Annette's advice is to flirt with the guy while he watches, and that'll make him jealous. So she says, this is what I would do. And she heads over to Troy, sleazy Troy from the club. where he has this whole setup on the beach, which I never saw in the 80s.
That is, yeah, that's the most ridiculous thing in this movie. Okay. There's a lot that's ridiculous. This is the stupidest part of this movie. The fact that anyone is as ridiculous as this guy would take the time to set up an entire apartment on the beach like this. He's got the tiki bar over here and multiple chairs. Like there's a beanbag. Like, what the hell is going on with this guy's setup?
And it's so much leopard print.
Everything leopard print and the little gold chains around his neck. Oh my God.
Even his Speedo matches.
And I love how she's so like condescending when she's talking to him, and it flies right over his head. He doesn't get that she's being condescending, but she totally is. And I live for it. It's so funny.
Yes. She basically, has a few words with him, and she doesn't know that Frankie is actually really watching from behind a surfboard several feet away. And at the end of the conversation, Troy leans in close to her and she says, "How would you like to take me out tonight? Impress me by throwing around your money and then get me drunk and back to your place." And he goes, "Wait a minute, have we gone out before?"
Like, pretty sure she's right on in her assessment. That's probably every date he's had.
I know, but how smart is she that she picked that up too?
And then she's like, "Toodles," and just runs away. She's so funny. Oh,
I have to
man.
say, even though he served a purpose here, I wouldn't want him that close to me. Troy's just gross. Everything
Ew.
about him is gross, right?
He's serving his purpose and he's doing it well. And Frankie, who's there observing what's happening, even though she didn't mean for him to really be there and see it, he isn't exactly the two-fisted stud anymore, is he? Because he doesn't do
No.
shit.
He doesn't
do a damn
anything.
thing.
No, he actually hightails it back over to the club during the day still, and he is going to go see Connie.
And I love this conversation he has with Connie.
Yes, I didn't take any notes about the specifics except that Michael shows up and we find out that Michael is her son.
Yes. And Frankie is lame and self-centered enough to think for a minute he might be Michael's father. And Connie's literally like, "We never did it. What the hell are you talking about?" And he's like, "We didn't." You can see on her face that she's thinking, "Oh my God, this is why we never did anything. You're such a tool sometimes. You don't even remember. How dare you?"
She goes, "You're really not a flatterer, girl."
Yeah, exactly. Like, "Oh yeah, now I remember why nothing ever happened. You're kind of a tool." He's being kind of annoying here for a minute. I love how he thinks he might be his father for a second.
Well, we
But
find
then
out his real dad's name is Spud.
Spud, who's a square, apparently. He's making fun of who his real father. Yeah.
Yeah,
But at
Michael's
any
like, "Quit
rate-
ragging on my dad."
Yeah. I like how as soon as he realizes that's not the case, Frankie is getting over his overprotective father crap with his daughter and starts trying to be a homie and help Michael out a little. He doesn't see him as a threatening bad thing. He's in love with a girl and he wants to help him get the girl the way he used to. And he starts doing that after this. So I'm happy this little moment happens where he realizes that.
And then we cut to little Bobby describing to Zed and his crew how to effectively utilize a cherry bomb to clear out the ladies' room. To which Zed replies, "You are a true genius." Like, are you telling me that not one of these juvenile delinquent/delinquent adults now never used a cherry bomb in their life? This is all news to them.
I'm telling you, Zed and his gang of misfits, they're all bark, no bite. They're clearly, they look that way. They are not that way. And there is evidence to support this in Zed's behavior. We've seen it so far, and we will see it again throughout the rest of the movie. I have special Zed-related notes.
All right. Well, Bobby further ingratiates himself into this little gang by telling them that they can go ahead and use his dad's American Express card and do some damage. And off they go.
Bobby's a bad influence on Zed and his friends. That's what I say.
So meanwhile, at the opposite end of the beach, Frankie, Michael, Mountain, and a bunch of the surfer dudes are all sitting around. And Michael says he's going to go ahead and apologize to Sandy. That should be the end of the movie right there. Apologies are had. Everybody's happy. The end. But no, Frankie immediately shuts that shit down and says that's a mistake to apologize. Instead, they should trick her into thinking he's having fun while she's sitting over there miserable. Great advice, Pops. Thanks.
I love that with this beginning of what's happening, where he's starting to say, this is what we should be doing. And then you're going to get Annette saying, no, we're going to do this. They're basically poking fun at the formula from their old beach party movies, because this is what they used to do. And now they're kind of poking fun at it from a different point of view, but then they're still going to go ahead and do it and do all the tropes. I love it. It's very smart. It's cute the way that they fit in this typical plot from the beach party movies here.
Yeah, they start to do like a pyramid on the beach and throwing around a football and trying to have a good time.
Exactly.
And they look over, they see Annette and Sandy, and they are joining up with the ska band Fishbone, and they all start dancing and singing to the Jamaica ska. I love out of all this that they have all the instruments on this. They like trombone, and they're on the beach. They don't give a fuck.
First of all, Fishbone, amazing, incredible. If you enjoy this scene, if you like a ska music, please Google them and listen to some of their other works. They've been around quite a long time. Not too far-fetched to believe Fishbone would be hanging out near Venice Beach, ready to just play and collect some money from people. Not terribly far-fetched from what I saw in my research, right up there with like early days Red Hot Chili Peppers, kind of just hanging out going, anybody want to hear us play? Okay, here we go on the street.
I love that.
Like, not weird that would happen. Of course, a little weird that they would be, prepared to go ahead and do this pre-recorded version of Jamaica Ska starring Annette Funicello, but
right?
how freaking adorable is she? This is the first time in the movie where you're really seeing Annette do her thing.
Front and center.
Little Miss thing, like front and center, prancing around, and she's had a wardrobe change. This is a new bathing suit from the one she was in an hour ago.
With the matching headband.
Yes. And just dancing around being the cutest thing ever with Fishbone doing this song. And you're like, heck yeah, I was doing it. I was dancing. I was sitting here on the couch doing it. Like, it's so charming and sweet. I love it.
Agreed. And then, of course, the entire populace of the beach decides to join in on it because it's so much fun.
How could they not? Because let's say this is what, 1987, right?
Uh-huh.
Was there not a huge pop/ska revolution that occurred in the 1990s? Yes, there was. And it came out of Southern California. So I think Annette and Fishbone were ahead of the game. That's all.
Well, everyone ditches Frankie and joins in as well, and he sulks and heads off in the opposite direction. Bobby in voiceover tells us that Annette sings when she's depressed. Dad sells. So we cut to Frankie pushing a hot dog cart on the beach while it's raining. He stops at Michael's workshop where he learns that Michael makes surfboards but gives them away instead of selling them. And I have to say, I don't know what Michael does for a living to pay his bills, but it seems like he puts a lot of time and effort into this shop. It's pretty elaborate and he has lots of boards. And what is he doing to make money if this is just a hobby? Like, wow.
Maybe he surfs competitively. I mean, he is talked about as being quite the surfer.
That's true.
So maybe like he's on the amateur circuit and he does pull in a little scratch time to time to pick up more supplies and tools, etc. I'm developing an entire really complicated backstory for Michael. I don't think it's necessary.
I like it. I'm rolling with it.
It is what it is. He makes surfboards.
So he tells Michael, well, if I'm a guy that's looking to get married, I probably want to consider having some money. So he tells him you should probably sell your boards. And of course, Michael says, I'm going to need a little help with that. And he says, well, you've come to the right guy. I'm going to teach you about selling. I do like, though, the one point Michael makes, which is, why would I want to sell? Because I don't want to get so involved in making money that I ignore my family. And Frankie does take that advice to heart, it appears, and says, touche, good point,
Yep. Perhaps what's needed is they could both use the middle ground between their 2 points of view. Because Frankie wisely points out, making money doing something you love, that's the dream. Everybody wishes they could do that. You could do it. They both need to learn something from each other, and that starts happening. And it's like, oh, it's really sweet the way they're both kind of learning what they need to in order to get right.
Agreed.
They make a good team.
And then that night, back at Daddy-O's, we get to see Dick Dale and Stevie Ray Vaughan playing their song on stage.
Yes, I wish I could get 20 minutes of just that. That's all I can say. Like, where's
Right?
the extended footage of this scene? That must have been a really fun day shooting this, seeing the two of them together. Man,
Yeah, I would have loved that myself. You're right. Frankie tells Michael that they need a plan because he's miserable without his wife, and Michael's clearly miserable without Sandy. They decide to throw a big beach bonfire. Michael says, well, the harbor master won't let us have any permits for beach parties after dark. And leave it to Frankie. He says, oh, I got this. No problem. Follow my lead. So the next day they go to see the harbor master, played by Dawn Adams from the TV show Get Smart, which aired originally 65 to 1970. And if anybody's interested in catching up on their Get Smart, I did see you can catch it on Tubi. So that's fun. It made me nostalgic to want to watch it because Frankie and Michael tell him they're going to be doing a Harbor Master of the Year award and they need to have the permit for the party, which is so clever.
Yes. And I love that within like 2 minutes, Dawn Adams is able to get in like every reference to the classic quotes from Get Smart that he can. They happen so fast.
Yes, I clocked at least 5.
Would you believe I own a yacht? Would you believe I own a broken oar? Missed it by that much. Like it's just chock full of it. It's so funny the way he gets to just throw all that nostalgia at you. Yeah.
So he agrees and gives him the permit. Cut to the beach party after dark. Annette and Sandy are talking, and Sandy says, I can't believe that they had this party and didn't invite us. And Annette says, well, obviously I haven't taught you a thing, have I? And Sandy says, well, you did teach me how to make my hair real stiff. And then there was that whole peanut butter thing.
Right.
She's like, no, I mean man stuff. She says, we're not invited to this party because it's actually for us. They're trying to get our attention. Annette and Sandy end up finding Michael, and he lets them know that he now sells his surfboards, and he mentions getting married. So Annette says, oh, she takes an accurate reading of this, and she says, oh, okay, well, I'm going to get my own place tonight so you guys can have your apartment back. And again, Annette being so smart, picking up on everything that's happening. Oh, so then she says, okay, I'm going to run off and find my husband now. So then we cut to Frankie and Connie manning a giant ass grill on the beach. They share a moment where he basically says really sweetly to her, oh, if it wasn't Annette, it would have been you. But he and Connie are not going to hook up, and that's clear. But she's giving him a hug, and it's sweet. But Annette sees this hug and gets upset because she doesn't know the context. And she storms off to find Troy.
Yes, yes, yes. When she finds Troy, can we just talk about what he's wearing?
Oh, please.
To attend this bonfire on the beach, the polyester, is that like paisley print happening with the pants? I don't know. And the coat that matches, and he's got like the scarf, the ascot around his neck. And what the hell is this man wearing?
I have 3 words for you. Leisure suit Larry.
Yes, leisure suit. Full on Troy in leisure suit. And can I just say, I don't know how many times I've said in my life, but it's because of this movie. Does Dolly Parton float? Does Michael Jackson have flammable hair? That line that he says, and then Annette, do you ever shut up? I have quoted that so many times in my life. It's so funny.
Well, I like that she's ready to night surf, like she has a change of outfit.
Oh, yeah.
And
she's got the wetsuit ready.
they go surfing because she's gonna, I don't know, change her outfit, and he changes and they go surfing. So the harbor master shows up and realizes that the party isn't for him after all. And to avoid any problems, Frankie offers the harbor master a girl as compensation. Here you go. Here's a hot girl. Go have fun. Like, what?
Props to the girl, let's just say, because she willingly is like, okay, fine. I'll be the dumb blonde. She takes one for the team to help them out. At least there's that. Okay. At least we get that gist that she's playing along and going with it.
True.
Other than that, yeah, it's a little weird and creepy what's happening.
Annette and Troy come out of they look like they're supposed to be coming out of the water up onto the beach, and Frankie confronts them. And I like how Troy, in his weird, crazy gold outfit, is soaking wet. His hair is wet. Everything's wet. And Annette is not.
Yeah. She's perfectly dry.
Yeah. So to cover for that, they have Troy say that line about, and her hair perfectly dry.
Well, the whole thing is stupid. You don't go surfing on a board, 2 people together at night and expect that to go well, let alone come out of there dry.
Yeah, it's so bizarre.
It's really weird and kind of stupid, but you just kind of gotta go with it.
So Annette gets upset and says that she saw Frankie hugging Connie. He grabs Annette, another no, and says, I want to talk to you, and starts to drag her off. And this is where I was like, yes, Troy, yes. He jumps in and stops him and's like, wait a minute, buddy. Even though, we want Frankie and Annette to be together, I feel like that was very inappropriate.
Yeah.
Frankie should not have put hands on her like that.
Agreed.
So Frankie punches Troy out, and then Annette calls him stupid and storms off. I like how, bless her heart, that's the harshest thing she could think of to say to him.
Yes.
You're so stupid. She runs over and confronts Connie and basically tells her, fine, if you want him, you can have him. And I love that Connie very sensibly says to Annette, I don't want somebody that doesn't want me. That is fabulous. I love her.
Yes. Yeah. And she's like, guess what? Every time you see him leaning over into my space, he's talking about you. He loves you. You guys are going to be okay. You just need to stop worrying about me.
So Annette wanders over and finds Frankie sitting alone and tells him, according to her, she thinks their scorecards are just about even. So they kiss and make up, and everybody stands around and goes, "Aw."
Yes. And then this is the moment where, like, okay, they kissed, how sweet, and we dropped acid, ? Because what is about to happen next seems so weird and so out of place and so strange, but it's everything that's great about the 80s.
Also the timeline tracks, because I looked it up. So Pee-wee's Playhouse was on the air from 86 to 90. He was becoming a very big deal. So enter Pee-wee Herman, who comes in carried on a surfboard, taken right to a stage where he proceeds to perform the song Surfin' Bird. I don't care for Pee-wee's version, but he is fun to watch.
It makes you remember how weird Pee-wee Herman bursting onto the pop culture scene felt in the 80s. First of all, because he just intrudes on this movie you're watching and you're like, what the hell is this? But you kind of love it. It's kind of weird and fun and crazy, and it feels a little bit like you dropped acid, which is exactly how you feel when you watch Pee-wee's Playhouse now.
Yes, and everybody joins in. Frankie and Annette, everybody comes on the stage. Yep, everybody's singing and dancing. And
wouldn't you?
Hell yeah. At the end, he flies off into the night on a magic surfboard.
As only Pee-wee can. That's the only way Pee-wee can exit a party.
It's so good.
I love it.
And then we cut to everyone sitting around a big fire, and Sandy's friend, Robin, calls Frankie the big caboose. And of course, they ask him why he doesn't surf anymore. And he proceeds now to give them the long version of the accident story. I'll give you an abbreviated version.
Yes.
Frankie tells them about a killer wave that he wiped out on called the Humunga Cowabunga from Down Under, which is basically a giant wave that rolls in from Australia. He was rushed to the hospital and in a coma for weeks. Can that happen if you just get knocked off a surfboard? Like, I feel like there's needs to be more to the story than that. Maybe he hit his head?
First of all, if he got whacked in the head, if he hit his head on a rock, or if the board, which that's a big, heavy board, whacked him in the head, yes, that could have knocked his ass out for weeks. Also, if he was in the water and was oxygen deprived, absolutely he could have been in a coma. That tracks, actually.
Well, I guess ever since then, he won't surf because it was so traumatizing. And then up rolls Bobby, Zed, and the Brigade of Misfits on a whole bunch of brand new looking ATVs. I'm guessing that's the damage they did to the American Express card.
Yikes. Annette
tells him to get down, and he says, my name isn't Bobby anymore. You can call me Surly. I gotta take a second because this is my favorite part with Bobby. They start to say, Shirley? You want us to call you Shirley? And then he changes his name and says, never mind. Call me Knife.
Yeah.
Nice? You want us to call you Nice? I don't know why this is my favorite part, but it is. I think it's because at the end of all this nonsense, Annette tells him to get his ass over here and knock it off, basically, like treats him like a parent should treat their child.
Yes, absolutely.
So Michael tells Zed, you're not invited to this party. Frankie intervenes and says there's a territory dispute clearly for the beach, and we should decide this with a surf off tomorrow morning. Like, doesn't not in this world. They decide their best surfers are going to go head to head, and that would be Zed versus Michael. And now I just realized what you said about what Michael probably does for a living. He's probably the
There
best
you go.
surfer.
Yeah.
But then Frankie accidentally breaks Michael's foot and he winds up in a cast.
Oh boy. Whatever will we do? It's time for the big kahuna to make his return, baby.
So the next morning at this giant elaborate setup and a big banner that says the surf off and everybody's there, they put this together pretty quickly.
They sure did, because who did they get in as the host and the judges?
So the host / announcer is Barbara Billingsley, none other than June Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver herself.
Yes.
And she tells the crowd, the surfers will be judged over 3 rides, and they'll be judged on style and originality. And then they pan over to the judges, Tony Dow and Jerry Mathers, who played Wally and the Beav on Leave It to Beaver.
Not only did they make this competition happen in about 12 hours time, they also got the cast to Leave It to Beaver to reunite and be a part of it. Frankie and Annette really, they really can make amazing shit happen when they work together.
So Zed arrives and Barbara Billingsley says to him and his crew, you must represent darkness, evil, and godless communism. I don't know why I think that's funny either, but I do.
Please tell me in your notes, what's the response to her saying that?
Bobby says, you forgot ugly, lazy, and
And disrespectful.
So good.
Okay, so first of all, yes, of course, it's highly quotable. But tell me, what is Bobby quoting?
I got Breakfast Club.
There you go. A good movie quote within a movie quote. So I love it when inside a movie that is amazing, they shout out and quote another movie that is amazing.
Yes. So then we learn, since Michael can't surf, it's going to be Zed versus Robin. Zed
The
is
little
not
red-haired.
Yes, and Zed is not impressed by her.
No.
So then up come Frankie and Annette, and he's in a little wetsuit, and they're carrying his giant coffee table of a surfboard with help from Connie and Gilligan. And the announcer says, oh, it's the big potato.
Yes. How many versions of his nickname are we hearing here? Like, there's got to be a list.
Oh, we should have kept, I didn't keep track.
Absolutely. No, you've thrown each one of them out there and they're all equally funny. This is the moment I love, when Annette sees Bobby still with Zed and his group, and she takes charge and says, you get over here now. And when the big dude growls at her, she growls back at him.
Yes.
So cute.
And she snaps at Bobby and she goes, I'm going to pull your smart little lips off.
She's done taking his crap.
She's over it.
And she's not going to be intimidated by Zed and his punk looking friends either. I love how she growls back at that guy. I laugh every time she does it.
So then the announcer fires her gun, the contest starts, and on the way down to the water, Frankie starts to chicken out. Annette gives him some encouragement, and then Michael gives him some advice. Michael says, stay in your crouch until the wave tells you to get up and lead the board. Don't let the board lead you. That's good advice. Everyone starts chanting kahuna, which I love, as he goes into the water. He immediately tips over 3 feet in twice. He can't get out. He can't get on the board. And then he finally makes it out onto the water, and we get an awesome underwater shot of his board, which is the shark. And as it slowly paddles by, we hear a Jaws-like theme music. Of course, I was like, yes.
That's why that surfboard is amazing, because anything or anyone underneath it, when you look up, it looks like a giant shark.
A 9
strolling
foot.
by. Yeah, really big one. I love the moment here. I think it's Zed's doing what he's supposed to be doing. He's taken a wave, he takes a second wave, and they cut to the judges. And the actor who played the beaver, I've got it here.
They do a Siskel and Ebert style critique of the surf.
Yes. Wally gives it a pretty good score, but then Beaver's like, it was anticlimactic. I give it a 6. It made me want to leave the beach.
Wally gave it an 8.
Yeah. Props to them for playing that little moment so well and showing that even how many decades later, as a comedy team, the two of them are still pretty cute together. I love that. It makes me
Agreed.
laugh because there's also probably whoever wrote that line probably went, this is probably what they're going to say when they see this movie. It made me want to leave the beach.
That's awesome. And probably right.
It's a funny line. It still makes me laugh.
So then Zed rides again, even though they're supposed to have 3 rides each. And then we don't get any ratings on his second ride. And then we cut to Frankie just chilling on his board, like out on the calm part of the water, not even trying to catch a wave. Michael says if he doesn't take a wave, he can't win. So we cut back to Frankie and he looks really nervous as a bunch of dark clouds and stormy noises happen and everything starts to roll in. And Annette and everybody's standing on the beach and she says, oh no, it can't be. It's the humunga cowabunga from down under. What are the odds that that would happen again?
I know. The odds of this happening again are so slim. It's pretty amazing.
I tell you the odds, but I don't do math. Everyone knows that.
What I love here is the fact that Zed's done. And then when he realizes what's happening, he gets the hell out of the water. And like I said, I am on Team Zed is actually secretly a nice guy because he immediately grabs a bullhorn and is telling him to come in. He doesn't want him to get hurt. Forget the freaking competition. Who cares? Get in here. I swear to you, he's secretly a sweetie. He's the son that Annette never had. The two of them dancing, that was magic. He's a little sweetie.
So Frankie ends up taking this giant wave. And I love that this cheesy movie that has been chocked full of cheese this entire time finally says, fuck it. And they embrace it. They go all in. It's a green screen of this giant wave, and he's surfing to the Indiana Jones theme music.
While everyone stands on the beach and, ooh, yep. I love that they went all in. They did not even attempt to make this look realistic. They knew they couldn't, and they went all in on the stupid.
Frankie waves at everybody, flashes a smile, gives him a little hang 10 with his hand as he's just hanging out on the board behind in front of this giant wave. Cut to an actual surfer on a board, on a completely different board. It's supposed to be him. I didn't like that. They couldn't find somebody with a round tip surfboard. They had to use somebody with but whatever.
Really not going for the realism. That's the whole point of this scene. Because what do you see Frankie doing next? Please continue.
He's holding a handheld mirror and a razor. He's shaving.
A real razor blade?
Yep. And then next shot, he's golfing hits a ball.
My favorite's what happens next.
Some guy comes up from out of frame and hands him a paper and pen and he signs an autograph for him. And then the guy disappears out of frame again.
This makes no sense at all. I love it. I picture them in the studio with the green screen going, okay, what else do we got in this room? What can we do next? Oh, you've got a golf club? Perfect. Bring it over here.
Right?
Ken, run in there and ask for an autograph. Yeah, let's just film that too. Why not? It's so stupid and it makes me laugh so freaking hard instead of going, oh my God, that's so dumb. I'm still laughing. I'm laughing with the movie.
So then we see Wally and the Beeb saying, what a great comeback for the big kahuna. And they both give him a 10.
Mm-hmm.
So they announce him as the winner. And I like that Barbara Billingsley calls him the big crapola. Oh, it doesn't get old. Every one of them I laugh at. So then Bobby in voiceover is telling us that his dad is now his new idol and the hair helmet is going to be the look for him. And then we cut to the family on the stage in Daddy-O's. And sure enough, there's little Bobby with his hair helmet and his little suit that Troy would be proud of.
Yep, looking just like Dad. I absolutely adore the fact here. You've got Troy, Zed, and Mountain forming the world's oddest and best a cappella trio that I've ever seen. The three of them together.
Yeah.
And then when you add little Bobby in with his, mezzo soprano, whatever's coming out of his mouth, just gold. I love that this cheesy, silly movie is going to end this way. And that's what you're realizing as you're seeing this scene. Like, we're going to get another little cheesy musical number. Yay, one more for the road. I love that.
More corny stuff. Absolutely. Yep. I do think it's funny, though, that he's holding this big trophy and it's this sweet, triumphant moment. But it's like, well, you weren't playing for a trophy. You were just playing for rights to the beach. But now that everybody's getting along and Zed's part of the group, I mean,
Everybody gets along now.
so Frankie and Annette kiss and the music starts up and they do this sweet number of a song called Some Things Live Forever. And this song gets stuck in my head long after the movie ends. It's such a fun,
Yep.
sweet song.
And again and again.
Yes.
You're welcome. Yep.
Yes.
Me too.
So Frankie and Annette are singing, and then we cut to Gilligan standing in the crowd talking to that pretty girl that was offered up earlier to the harbor master. And he says something about, do you want to hear my story? And she says, actually, yes, I do. So they go off together, which is so cute. And then we cut to Bobby, like you said, interjecting his singing. He has to go again and again, like behind them when they're trying to sing. And the dad
That's what gets stuck in your
swats him.
head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Connie dances with Zed. Now there is a match, right? Bad girl and wannabe bad boy.
It's just, I'm telling you,
I love it.
He looks like a sheep in wolf's clothing. He's a sweetie. I'm saying it.
So back on the stage, everybody's singing and having fun. And Michael and Sandy work their way over to the middle of the stage where he swaps out her surfer on a board for an actual diamond ring.
Aw.
It's a sweet moment, yes.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to Gilligan, just about to get some when he's cock-blocked by none other than Alan Hale Jr. himself. The skipper shows up.
They got somewhere to be, but don't worry, it's only a 3-hour tour.
We got to shove off, little buddy. He's like, no.
Wait, no, I finally found somebody who wants to hear my story.
Yes, he says, don't worry, we'll be back. It's only a 3-hour tour.
Yeah.
So then Gilligan says, it's never a 3-hour tour. And the skipper slaps him on the head with his hat, just like he did on the show. I felt so bad for him. I'm like, let him have this.
Or Gilligan.
And then as the music continues and fades out, we cut to a quick shot of Annette and Frankie walking on the beach. And I love that she breaks the fourth wall for however many times they've done this in this movie. She breaks it one last time and looks right at the camera and says to us, are we the corniest couple you've ever seen or what? And then fade to black, the end. And I want to say yes. Yes, they are the corniest couple. And yes, I'm here for it. The whole thing, all 92 minutes. I'm here for it.
Right there with you. My note says, yes, you are the corniest couple I've ever seen. And yes, I still am here for it to this day. That's exactly what I wrote to. And then I also added, of course, rest in peace, Annette, you beautiful, magical angel of a woman. Man, oh man, does she just bring joy every second she's on screen. I love seeing the two of them together again. It's magical. It's just so happy and fun. Every time I see it, I come away just feeling like I'm a better person for a little while. Like, I don't know how else to describe it. You know what I mean?
Yes, I feel like she was one of the rare angels on earth.
Yes. Just
sure.
love and light and just honest, fun, happy things coming from her. Like, and the two of them together, forget about it. They made a great pair.
All right. So do you feel like we touched on everything, all the scenes, all the characters that you wanted to touch on?
Yes. I mean, honestly, you and I could read through the entire script and not be bored.
It's true. Well, I do have the 3 questions for you.
Sure.
Question number 1. Do you think, and I'm guessing the answer is yes, you would like them to figure out some extras, find some restored footage, and put out a nice Blu-ray of this or a 4K?
That would be wonderful. I would love to see every bit of footage they have. I doubt that it would happen. It was pretty well received, but it's got a little bit of a cult status now where you're kind of an odd duck if you know this movie really well. So I doubt that Paramount would even put the money into doing it, unfortunately, but I wish they would. Please do it.
Right? That's exactly my sentiment.
I'd buy a copy for sure.
Question 2, would you like to see a present day sequel, maybe about Bobby grown up and his family? Maybe throw in, did he leave Ohio? Did he go to California? Did he ever get a real tattoo?
Well, shit.
It could even be an Amazon original or a Netflix movie.
You could go a more recent version of Vacation, the way that was done with Ed Helms and Christina Applegate, where they're sort of redoing the prior formula, but Ed Helms is the son. He's not the Chevy Chase character. And that kind of worked. You could kind of do something like that. I don't know where this actor is, but if you're going to have anyone who isn't that actor playing Bobby, I don't care. It's got to be him, and it has to be about him. And if it's not that same actor, no way. So I highly doubt the probability of that happening, unfortunately. We're the only people asking for it, I think. So
That's the case a lot of the time, yeah.
it would be hilarious to see whatever happened to Bobby.
Right? If he took over his dad's car dealership. Does his son have a paper route?
Yeah. Ooh, don't get me started on that $2.
Question number 3. Did this movie need a surfing dog? My answer is yes. We needed like Ricochet the surfing dog or some other famous surfing dog to make an appearance.
Are you kidding me right now? Okay. So
what movie can't be improved by adding a
Yes.
sweet dog? Come on.
So surfing dogs, I've seen a surfing honey badger. I've seen all kinds of animals that surf. Okay. Is it
Yes.
comedy gold and amusing? Yes. This movie had Pee Wee Herman flying away on a surfboard. It doesn't get any better than that. I think the dog would have been upstaged by Flying Pee Wee anyway.
Isn't everything upstaged by a flying Pee-wee?
That's what I'm saying. A Flying Pee Wee trumps all, even surfing honey badgers. So it wouldn't have worked.
Okay, fair enough. I disagree. I would have liked surfing dog, but I like a dog in all my movies, as we know. So, anybody interested in watching Back to the Beach? It is available on Amazon Prime, and you can also pick up the DVD anywhere from $10 to $15 on the interwebs. I recommend it if you like cheese. That is it for our Back to the Beach episode. I want to thank everybody for listening, and I want to thank my lovely co-host, Miss Nikki Flicks.
Absolutely. I'm here for this movie anytime.
All right, on that note, bye.
Bye.
Javi, no one's afraid of lunch.
I am, because I know exactly, unfailingly, and with an absolute certainty what's in there. It's been in there every day of my life. It's peanut butter, isn't it, Mom? Isn't it?
Well, you know, I believe it is.
What do you mean? I believe it is. Of course it is. You know there's peanut butter in there. It's like a sick kind of fixation with you.
Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, you know, we just finished season 4, we're rolling into season 5, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our bad movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. We're on X. I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to have the show on there, but currently the handle is at Gobble Podcast. Get it? Gobble, 'cause like a turkey. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. And like I mentioned, we're rolling into season 5. It is 2025. The show, it's been a wild ride, still going strong. So if you have a movie that you would like to hear covered on the show, let me know by emailing direct at letstalkturkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie that you think is a bad movie if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie but you like to talk about it. That's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here.
Now I cannot.
Get the fuck out of here.
Get the fuck out of here.
Why don't you get the fuck out of here?
Get the fuck out of here.
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 You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.